You are entering ENC's Pod of Awesomeness.
So before we came on air, if that's indeed what you do with a podcast, the Birdman said, pitter patter, let's get at her.
It's a good Canadian saying.
That's
right. Am I wrong or am I right?
I'm not entirely sure. Fuck there, bud. Oh,
fucking right, bud.
Apropos,
let's get at her, eh?
Apropos, though, as our guest today is one young Jedi Kyle O'Reilly from Vancouver.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to throw that out there to him and ask.
You should,
if because he's Western Canada, and see if that was maybe a Western Canada thing too. So
this completes our month of Undisputed Awesomeness today.
It is, yeah.
Yep. Hey, and remember, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, on the Android app, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, however you listen to these damn things. Don't forget to leave us a
5-star blog/review.
Yep.
Got the salacious one off.
I did.
Off guard there.
I caught him snoozing.
You know what though? You know what he's gonna do to make himself look good. There's going to be no gap in between that at all when this goes.
He's got to tighten it right up.
You guys already know me
John,
so well.
Am I right? Or
100%. There's it's going to play right after the last word Adam said. There's no gap. I got to put myself over somehow.
No one will hear the pregnant pause. That's all right. That's all right. You might be able to hear the girls, Lyric and Ruby, upstairs. They are in the midst of the bedtime process. The Phoenixed one. We'll get to her later.
Yeah, she's a real road warrior, so to speak, lately, huh?
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, but that's what you may hear rumblings above. Hey, you can follow O'Reilly. I didn't just have a stroke at on Twitter at KOR Combat and Instagram at KOR Combat. So there's that.
Right, and you can follow us at ENC Pod and that's on Twitter, by the way, and on Instagram it's at EC Pod of Awesomeness.
All right. So there, all that's done. Now let's get to it. Let's cut to the bone, man. Let's get through the meat. Let's get to the bone. Let's get that bone saw out. Yeah. So, hey, before I forget, before we go any further, one thing that I keep meaning to mention that we haven't mentioned is the fact that Jazzy Gabbert, our good buddy, she's signed to WWE. She's going to be with WWE UK, and I could not be more happy for someone. So happy for her. Glad it all worked out. I'm glad she didn't give up on her dream and continued to follow it. And, after every show, I've been like, damn, we didn't talk about Jazzy. So super happy for her. Way to go. I'm doing a golf clap. Actually, wait.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I said, when you're rocket strapped, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen tomorrow.
No, it's the same with Kofi.
They take off at different times.
Yeah,
so
Kofi's strapped. But no, don't worry, Kofi's going to be strapped, and look out there. But
she's a great person. She's a great story. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen to the ENC pod from in the archives, brother. It was a really good one. So, congratulations to Jazzy.
Yep. All right. So a lot happened this week. A lot happened, Birdman.
Yeah.
We can get to the pay-per-view in a second, but Harlem Heat going in the Hall of Fame. Yes. Booker T will end up being the third person, although is he second or third? Because Shawn's doing it the same night. Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, Booker T, both two-time recipients of the Hall of Fame honor.
Yeah.
That's great. I think it's very, very cool. I saw Booker a couple of weeks ago at Rick's party, and it's not that you forget everything that Booker's done, but man, Booker, my gosh. I mean, that guy really, really, if you want to point to any point on the card, take whatever he was given, whether it be, GI Bro on, to just every King Booker. I mean, my gosh.
Right.
And then his team with Stevie Ray. Hugely influential, and I think Doom to me was always the kind of the team that first kind of at least for our era, broke down some barriers, and then Harlem Heat
Right.
just took it and ran.
Yeah, the thing is too, like they had this different look about them too, right? Like the tights with the thing around the neck, and then it wasn't quite a singlet, but I mean it just, and they had the fire on it, and they had the sunglasses, and they had the. They could talk. They could both talk, and that was something that was pretty cool about it as well, right? They had that. Obviously, they're brothers in real life, so they had that chemistry as well, where they could just kind of play off each other, and that made their promos, very, very entertaining. And in the ring, you had the big power guy and Stevie Ray, and then Booker, was the mover and shaker.
Well, it's like the Heart Foundation formula, or the
Right.
where there's the powder keg, and then there's the or Morocco Norton tank and technician. That
Right.
idea. Yeah. So
Right.
I was
Or in
pretty
our
stoked
team,
to-
I was the power man.
You were the power man. Yes. Get that rangy, tendon strength, brother.
Yeah. No, but congratulations to Harlem Heat. Like I said, they were very, very an influential. Did I say that right?
Man, we are all over the place, just stumbling like a couple of
I know.
stunned
Man.
fucks.
Anyways,
That should have been our tag.
they were one of my favorite tag teams back in the day, especially when I was breaking into the business. Watched them a lot. Big fan. Both guys, liked them both, so I couldn't be happier.
Brie Bella announced she has retired from wrestling on Total Bellas. Man, having kids, it just
changes
you
you,
realize how all consuming and all encompassing that is, and
Right.
I would assume that would be the main reasoning for it, and there just comes a point, right? So good for her,
Right, and she has other stuff going on, obviously, right?
Yeah.
With Total Bellas and Total Divas and that whole thing, and other ventures, I would assume. But also, it's hard when you have two parents, and you can attest to this as well, in the business and traveling like that with that schedule. That makes things really, really hard. So, it might be a bit of that as well.
There's got to be one of you home. There really does.
Right.
I don't know how it would be possible to pull off two parents on the road. And I think, once a child gets past the first few months, it's really hard to travel with kids. So, it becomes a thing. But good for her. Again, I'm speculating that that's the reason why. But she can retire in contentment. Or she can retire in bliss. Here's a segue. Alexa Bliss hosting WrestleMania.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
She's good.
Kurt
Yeah, she's
Angle
good little
is
heel.
wrestling his farewell match at WrestleMania. How's that make you feel? He's joining us in retirement.
Well, I think it's good for him. I mean, he doesn't have anything left to prove. He's already going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. So, if he feels like that's what he needs for himself, then it's great, and it's great to go out on your own terms. With us, we were kind of told like, hey, you can't do this anymore, but he kind of gets to go out and have one more match at WrestleMania and put his in-ring career behind him. But like he's so revered in the business, I'm sure he will, be around and will be a face and a personality in it for a long time.
All right, here's the $41 question then. Who does he wrestle?
Whew, man.
Who? Whoa, I thought we had Smackage for a second there.
Ankle lock versus the pulse or a small package.
What?
I don't know, man. Ankle lock versus small package.
Oh, yeah. Can you
That's what they can bill
counter
it as.
the ankle lock with a small package? There's got to be a way. I'm thinking Cena.
Yeah?
But, well, yeah, John's first match,
even think
main
about
roster match was against Kurt. I mean, why not? That way, John doesn't have to get involved in a storyline. It doesn't have to impede on any other thing. It's a huge marquee
Right.
matchup,
No, it's a good
and
call.
it makes sense from a storyline standpoint.
No, I'm glad I thought of that. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Armchair arm draggers here,
That's what we do. Book this shit. I like the idea of a little like a Brock Shelton unit. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I did.
Golden Gophers, baby.
Here's also funny. Here's a funny tidbit that somebody tweeted me. That was Shelton's first match on Raw since he wrestled me in 2009 on Raw.
Wow.
How crazy is that?
Crazy. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Shelton always had good matches with Shelton. One of my buddies.
I mean, he's a freak. He's still a freak.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has to work out now, though, as he detailed to us on a previous incarnation of this pod, and you can go back and listen to that when we had the gold standard on. Is he the gold standard without the blonde hair?
No, I don't think he is anymore. I don't think he is.
All right. Yeah. And the Phoenix one, Betty Phoenix.
She's back. The Phoenix one, flapping those wings, those fiery wings.
Just flapping them all over the place, right?
Yeah. What's the deal? What's the dealio?
What do you mean, what's the deal? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know nothing.
I mean, I was there. I was too scared to help her. But
yeah, of course. How about that? I'm looking after the kids, and you know, everybody's like, "Oh man, is Edge going to run out?" Yeah, and attack Naya? Yeah, okay. And she'd beat my ass, and no Birdman at all.
Yeah, I already had to bail her out on the pre-show panel. You know, she had to leave. So
yep. So it's. I won't spoil anything, but I think it's cool. I think it's going to be fun, and I think that really is the most important thing. You know, we'll see where it goes, folks. We'll see where it goes.
We'll see.
Phoenix one.
Yeah,
I might be pulling more dada duty coming up here in the next while, though.
The Phoenix one's getting fired up. Get it?
Oh, and I'm not going to lie. I was close to being defeated and tapping out to them this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're a formidable tag team. Lyric and Ruby, when they team up, my gosh. So I was like, you got bedtime tonight, honey. I'm going to go do the pod. Even though she hasn't like slept, but whatever.
There you go.
Hey, I want to get your take on something.
Okay. All right, get it.
So the NXT call-ups, we've talked about them, right? We've talked about how it seems kind of like odd and kind of just out of nowhere. What do you think of Black and Ricochet teaming?
I think, I'm not sure that it was maybe set out to be that, but it gives them a good kind of storyline to come into. And I don't think you're going to see them stuck together. And I don't want to say stuck together, put together, because they're not stuck together. They're both super talented. But I think in my opinion, like I said, I don't know anything. This is just my opinion, that was probably a way to introduce them with the tag match, and it kind of worked. So they went on the next week with that, and then it just kind of morphed into this. And like I said, I feel like it's a good storyline for them to dip their toes in, do it together, feel comfortable, and then when the time is right, move separately and do your own thing. But you're a little bit established before that happens, because like we had said, there people want to believe it or not, there is a bit of a difference in audience as far as NXT and Raw or SmackDown.
Well, and that was my take too, is a lot of times the transition coming over, you can tell it's a difficult, kind of thing to navigate. And I mean, from backstage all the way to, now it's live and all of those things. So I dig the idea to let them, I think back to when we teamed, when they initially, had to start teaming, because at first it was just odd and kind of felt floundering, and it was much easier for us, I think, as a team because we knew each other. But I feel like it's an easier transition for those two guys. And what I like about it is they're both very, very special. And I think that nothing will get wasted, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like they're being taken care of right now, and that's a good thing, because I think there's a lot of upside to both guys.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
and I think so too. Yeah. Like I said, I think it's a smart move, and like you said before, there was that comfort level of us coming in together, and and playing off each other as well, right? And that helps kind of build your confidence and your character.
Yeah, and even though on paper and even just visually, it's like, okay, that team doesn't make sense. But those guys have known each other from NXT. There's a comfort level there, and they've been able to make their styles mesh and work, and really, made it work and made it fun to watch too. Which brings me to the tag title match with them, the Revival and Glorious at Fastlane, and. I didn't realize that's the first time the Raw Tag Team titles have been defended on a pay-per-view in like a year.
Are you serious?
Which is
I didn't realize that either.
Which is crazy. Yeah, that's what I'm here for, Birdman. And I thought it was really, really cool. There were so many cool things done in that match. Super, super talented people in there, and it was really fun to see. I mean, the one in particular, I think it was an O'Connor roll up, but into a roll through German into a pin. But then here comes, the flying bulldog powder keg that is Dash Wilder into a stocky splash.
Yeah.
I could say that he lived in my apartment for a year. I'm allowed to.
Right. No, it was a good match. I didn't realize that about the Raw Tag Titles, but that also shows, what in here kind of recent history, these guys have been able to start to, like we talked about, going out there and performing almost with a chip on your shoulder, right? They've all been doing that, and you kind of force your way. Hey, the show's going to be better if we're on it, and that's what you want to start getting that footing, and it seems like they're getting that now, and that's great because they work their asses off, even on live events. You hear about these amazing matches they're having on live events and things like that. It only helps to, and that's kind of how it happened with us as well. We were getting good feedback on matches that we were having with the Hardys on live events, and in turn, it gave us more TV time. So they go hand in hand.
Feedback gets back. It really, really does.
Right.
And if you're phoning it in on house shows, that's going to get noticed too. And, I like the fact a guy like, Bobby, who's been around, my gosh, I think, I was like his fourth match or something like that on an indie in Hamilton, which again, you can go back and listen to on a previous pod. Booby. And so you got a ring general in there like him. And then, all these young, hungry guys. And Gable is just, to me, an absolute star waiting to happen. Not that he isn't already, but the guy is so super talented and is able to adapt to whatever team they keep putting him in. And
Gable is able.
Gable is able. There you go.
That could be the new "Don't Hinder Jinder."
Yeah. Be fair to Flair. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say this.
Great.
The Asuka retained the SmackDown Women's title over Mandy Rose, who we talked about being impressive. And I really just, thought it was good. But also wanted to say, on the pre-show, I was previewing the match, and I guess I said Asuka. And then, of course, my Twitter feed blows up with 12 tweets from, what's the voice you use? Yeah, there was like 12 or 15.
I can't believe you mispronounced it. I mean, that'd
you
be
didn't say
like...
it right. Yeah, you didn't say it right. It's Asuka. It's Asuka. Come on.
She would call you
okay.
Christiane.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Sorry for adding a little extra something into it. On live TV when you're under time constraints. But, whatever.
Yeah. But you got her name
I will
wrong,
not get it wrong again, 12 people. I promise you. Asuka. I've been practicing it ever since.
Asuka. She defeated Mandy Rose.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see a whole lot else of the pay-per-view. So I didn't get to see the Shield. I didn't get to see Becky. I didn't get to see, and I really want to see this one because I saw some clips of it of D-Bry, Kevin Owens, and Ali. And I heard it was a tough position to be in because of the Kofi Mania and everything. But I'd really like to see that. And I want to talk about.
Well, I just want to say this about that match is that it was a tough situation to get thrown in, but by the end, they had them invested, which is what you want.
They worked their way out of it. Yeah,
Right.
because they're all great, and with enough time, that's what you can do. But just going into it, it's a very tough situation.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio, man, he is he's Benjamin Button. He's aging in reverse.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I don't know, but I hate him.
I think I
For
kind of
aging
hate him too,
reverse.
even though I love him.
Yeah.
I think I hate him, and not only that, but I don't think I've seen a match of his recently where he hasn't done something that is completely new.
Right.
Which should not be possible for him because he's done everything. But he's doing like double flying hurricanranas. And sure, a lot of that has to do with the folks he's working. Yeah, just crazy, innovative, insane stuff. So good. And that's a huge tip of the hat to the guys he's working too.
Right.
Because obviously they're
Well,
they're
we
all
talked
great,
about
but-
it before too, right? Like Ray's a legend. So,
Yeah.
when people heard that he was coming back, how many people were like lining up with their hands up saying, I'll work him. I want to work with him.
Yeah.
He's that type of a performer that, when you hear people talk about their dream match, a lot of people would say Rey Mysterio. So, they're that these guys, it's a thrill for them to be in there with them.
I just imagine a fatal 4-way with like Andrade, Ray,
Me.
Ricochet, and you. Yes. Did you say you?
Yeah, I
And
was
you.
just put myself over.
No, but
real
let's say
quick.
I don't know. Let's say AJ.
Yeah.
Just think about that for
Let's
a
say it.
second.
Yeah.
Craziness, I say. Yeah. So Jay, let's go back to the fact that you had a chance to do a run in and make the save for the Phoenix one for Betty, but you didn't do it, which is odd because usually you would take the opportunity to put yourself over.
Yeah, I didn't though. I was putting myself over in other ways.
Because I want to know what would happen. Here's what would happen. Tamina would have super kicked your stupid little chin off.
There's reasons why I didn't go out there, and that was one of them. So, yeah.
Okay.
That was basically okay. That was maybe the only reason I didn't go.
That was it.
All right. I'm not too
Thought we're getting to the
too proud to
truth of the
admit
matter.
I was scared. I was scarred.
Scared. We're scared. Say you're scared. What else you got?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about,
Nothing.
Birdman?
But well, I mean, just want to say this too. Great to see Roman Reigns back.
Yes, absolutely.
And we had talked about it before, and I had a chance to speak with him real quick. It was good to catch up with him. Man, he's just he's a good dude, and like I said, just on a human level, just that he's healthy is trumps everything. So glad for him.
On a very real level, like
Right.
what wrestling is entertainment. It's a highly physical form of entertainment. There's injuries and there's the grind of the road and all of those things. But you're talking about leukemia. That's obviously a bigger thing. And so like you said, on a human level, it's really good to see that he's able to come back, which means more importantly that he's healthy. So
Probably get ready for
we should do it
for our guest.
We should do it to close out our month of Undisputed Awesomeness.
After I slap your ass and before we talk to Kyle O'Reilly, let me tell you about Raycon earbuds. Look, it's 2019. Everyone needs a great pair of wireless earbuds, but before you go dropping hundreds of dollars on a pair, you need to check out wireless earbuds from Raycon. Raycon earbuds start off about half the price of any other premium wireless earbuds on the market, and they sound just as amazing. The company was actually co-founded by Ray J and celebrities like Snoop Dogg. Hey, they're already obsessed. Brother, why aren't you? Or you're gonna be.
See, here's the thing. So I get my big old butt out in the treadmill every day, and I found with other earbuds, they always fall out. They don't fit my weird head properly. The beautiful thing about these is they don't go anywhere, and there's different sizing. So if you got a big old ear hole, they're going to fit. If you got a small ear hole, they're going to fit. They will fit your ears, and that is the beautiful part. They're not going anywhere. The sound quality is amazing, and you can run with them. You can do your Pilates with them. You can do your plyometric ball work with them. You can do anything with these things, and they aren't going to fall out, and they're going to give you a sound quality at a much cheaper rate.
Look, I do double dutch in them. And you know what? Raycon's E50 wireless earbuds have totally changed the game for me. They're so comfortable and so easy to take anywhere. Unlike some of your other wireless options, Raycon earbuds are both stylish and discreet with no dangling wires or stems. And of course, they don't just look great, they sound great too. Raycon offers their wireless earbuds for everyone in a range of fun colors at an unbeatable price.
Go to buyraycon.com and use promo code ECPOD20 to get 20% off your order. That's promo code ECPOD20 at buyraycon.com for 20% off Raycon wireless earbuds. Been eyeing a pair? Now is the time to get an amazing deal. One more time, that's buyraycon.com, promo code ECPOD20. Hello?
Hello.
You guys, I got to say something about you collection of Undisputed era
We're a timely
fellas.
bunch.
You are right on it. That is impressive. We thought, we're like, you know what? He's going to throw us for a loop. He's totally going to, throw a monkey wrench in the whole, promptness of you guys, but you didn't. Look at that. Impressive.
Usually I'm a bit of a Matt Tardy when it comes to being on time for stuff, but I didn't want to be late for this, so made sure to call in right as the clock struck 8:30.
You just dropped Matt Tardy. This is off to a
I thought
glorious
of it the other day
start.
when I was late to Skull for class with Sean, and I didn't get a chance to use it then, so I thought I'd try and use it now.
Hey, use it here, man. That's what we're here for. Is for unused material. Just spit it out here.
Sounds good.
So thanks for coming on the show. We
thanks for having me,
have
guys.
never really, we haven't had a chance to actually really talk. So I'm looking forward to this. It was similar to Bobby last week, and I'm sure you heard how that went. So
Yeah.
the way this show works.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Couple good
But Kyle,
chuckles.
I gotta get something out of the way right now. And if not, it's gonna bother me the entire interview and I won't be able to focus. Canadian saying. Pitter patter, let's get at her. Is that a Canadian saying or not?
I'm very familiar with it. My dad would say that all the time. He'd
Really?
say so many of those Canadianisms.
There you
I
go.
feel like I'd be like, Dad, where are we
Yeah.
going? Oh, going crazy, and you're coming with me. And he was always wearing the Canadian tuxedo, the jean shorts or the jeans, and the denim shirt and the denim hat even.
Yeah.
And pitter patter, let's get at her was always.
Yeah.
Do you guys say
I
that?
wasn't sure. What's that? No, I said it at the start of the pod, actually, before when Adam said, "Are you ready to roll?" And we hadn't even started yet. And I said, "Yeah, pitter patter, let's get at her." And then he brought it up once we got on to try to embarrass me, and I said, "No, it's a Canadian saying." And then he kind of wondered if it really was. And then I said, we have a Canadian coming on. He could probably settle the score for us here, but I don't know if it's necessarily a Western Canadian thing. But now we find out it was. It's all of Canada.
Pitter
It's all of
pat 'em,
Canada.
let's get at 'em.
Yeah.
Oh, you even changed it a bit. I like it. I like pitter pat 'em.
Yeah, you
Let's
can-
get at 'em. Oh,
You
I
gotta
see.
adapt. It's what I've really learned since coming to NXT. Just adapt with what they're giving you, and make it the best you can.
Hey, well, guess what? You are. So now, before we go too far in or whatever, I gotta say, your guys' matches, you and Roddy in particular, because Bobby was out. I mean, just some of the stuff and the creative ways you got into things, and just you can tell the students of the game that you guys are, and it's just really, really fun to watch, coming from two guys that obviously love tag team wrestling. It's been really, really, it's been a real pleasure to watch it, man. So I want to get that out of the way up front.
I greatly
now that we got the Canadian
appreciate
stuff out
that,
of the way.
especially coming from you guys being tag team specialists. All I can say is just this. I think I speak for me and Roddy when we love to feed for a comeback. I love to sell things and flip flop and fly and take, as they say, an entertaining ass whooping, I guess.
It makes money, man.
Good offense is good defense.
Yeah, for sure. I love just to sit down, calling a match, whether it's a tag or a singles, and just say, hey, what do you want to do to my body? Like, what's your comeback? And they'll say this, that, and the other, and oh, well, what if we do this? Or you could toss me into Roddy, and then grab him and throw him over to me, and just like, oh, and guys are usually like, oh, that's a great idea. Thanks. That's awesome. Wow, let's do that. And, that's what I really love about this art form is getting the opportunity to do those things.
Well, and it's funny that you say art form, because it is. It really is. It's every match is a movie or a half an hour drama or a half an hour comedy, depending on the match. It really is such a chance to get creative people do this job. There's no way around it. If you're not creative, it's not going to work for you. And I think that's really what I've taken from watching your guys' stuff, is just how just creative it is, and stuff that, I'd like to take credit for thinking of, but I'd see it and go, damn it, why didn't I think of that? That is awesome. There's not many people I watch that I can say that, and I can truly, say that with you guys.
Well,
it
takes four to tango in a tag match, so we can't take all the credit, but definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely,
so
but you guys are a recurring theme, and I think that's when I start to see a recurring theme throughout with all these creative things happening. I'm like, okay, well, these guys are clearly onto something.
Sure.
But that was very Canadian of you to pass the credit. I like that.
All right, bud. Oh, it wasn't all me, bud. Jeez, oh, Pete. Jesus, Murphy.
I'm going to say pitter patter, let's get at her every time I go out the curtain now.
I'll be looking for it now.
Jesus Murphy is another good Canadian one, huh? Jesus Murphy, bud. That's a good
Jesus Murphy. Let's get out there and play some shinny there, bud.
We asked the other guys this when we had them on. What was the moment like that you stumbled upon wrestling and kind of like that moment of what is this? And the realization is like, I need to know more about this. And then what moved you to like, no, I have to do this.
Like one of my first memories, like actual first memories, is at a video store and seeing a poster of Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt off and getting like a VHS tape of one of the WrestleManias or whatever. And then I just remember running around my kitchen, putting on like a Safeway grocery bag, like a tank top, and ripping it off, because like the way Hogan's shirt ripped, it had to have been plastic. There's no way a human can rip like an actual shirt like that. So that's how I associated it, and I was a lifelong fan ever since. And just during like the whole Attitude Era boom and everything, obviously things got taken to a whole new level, and I became just absolutely obsessed. And my dad took me to my first live show, which happened to be a pay-per-view in Vancouver. It was WWF Presents Rock Bottom 1998 in your house.
We were on that.
And I remember everything about it. Like, I remember just the feeling I got when I first walked up the steps and looked down at the ring. I can remember the smell of that DX t-shirt that I got. Like, it was such a profound moment, like closest to the religious experiences I've ever had, that I knew at that moment, like, this is what I'm going to pursue, and this is what I'm going to do with my life. Like, no matter how it pans out, like whether, I make it or not, this is just what I love to do.
Wow. I think the Brood was on that. I think we wrestled the Job Squad on that show.
Did.
You guys did the 6 Hands of Brood. That's right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We did, man. It's so. I often wonder, like, what is it chemically that is inside all of our brains that causes us? Because I felt the same way. The first time I walked into Maple Leaf Gardens, I just went. I same thing. I can remember the smell. I can remember the way it felt. I can remember hearing the hum of that audience before it started, and the excitement and the build, and then that first person coming out on the ramp, and it blew my little mind. But
it's truly special. It makes me wonder if, like, in other mediums and other artists, like, if they have that same aha moment. Like an actor when he sees a movie, if he gets that same sort of buzz, or like, is wrestling just that special? Like, I sometimes think it really is. Like, there's nothing really like it in the entertainment world.
The only thing I can think of is a concert, maybe, or maybe a play, because they're live, and you're in the moment of something. But yeah, I think there's a certain wiring that is in all of us that it connects for whatever reason. So.
Yeah,
man, I can't believe we were at your first show working. Oh my God,
it's crazy.
Yeah, so I know, right?
But on the flip side of that, we were really young then, so we're really not
very
that
true.
old.
So you guys are still just a little bit older than now, because that was what 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
So after that, I got hooked in just looking up any independent wrestling that was around, and there was like a local promotion called ECCW that was like a local Vancouver promotion, and started going to those shows. I'd be a little bit older before I started going to those shows and everything, but then I started, oh wow, independent wrestling. Like it was just a whole new awakening to what else was out there, and that was a whole other experience of itself as well.
When we were talking about like growing up and watching wrestling, we used to watch wrestling pretty much all Saturday afternoon, and they used to have this wrestling. It's probably before your time, but it was called BC All-Star Wrestling, and they shot it in a TV studio. Right? Mauro Ranallo was the ring, was the commentator, and I think he was like 19 years old or something. Yeah, and like Wojo the BC Hulk, and Ole Olsen, and Moose Morawski, Spider Webb, all these
Vicious
guys.
Vicious Vern Siebert.
Oh yeah, Vicious Vern. He wrecked my very first match.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, Vicious Vern.
Look at that, man. Whoa. So, and throughout your travels and your time out in BC, I'm guessing that you had to run into Paul Lazenby.
Oh, of course.
Of course. It goes without saying.
How could you not forget him? Jeez.
I know.
He's a great guy.
He's like a fungus.
Actually been very helpful to me during my career. Like, he was a guy who I could contact. Like, when I left BC and came to the States, and there was times where I would like lose faith and just where things weren't going so great, and I would just reach out to Paul, and he would just keep me motivated, and he would say something that like he'd watch a match of mine and just give me like some new motivation or inspiration to just keep plugging away and everything. So not to put him over too much, but he was a helpful guy.
I'll ruin that for you right now. He just probably said, "Don't end up like me." That's all the motivation you needed.
And as much as I detest him on a completely personal level, it's nice that you were able to have that person to go to, because I mean everybody needs that. And the reason I detest Paul is that he claims he still went over me on a show in Cat Lake or God's Lake Narrows or wherever else it was.
I've heard all about it many times. Of
course you have. Yeah. That's his claim to fame that he'll cling to for the rest of his life. It never happened. Yeah. It's all a lie.
Good old Paul.
But seriously though, it's so good to have that person that you can reach out to, because
everyone gets support. Everyone gets help to make it in this business. I think you can't make it on your own. Everyone gets a helping hand somewhere or the other.
So, you plug away in the indies and you're doing this and everything. Like, during your training, was there a point where you thought, man, I could be pretty good at this?
Yeah, like, I don't want to sound too cocky or anything, but I felt like the first time like getting in a ring, it was like a fish taking to water. Like, I just felt like I could roll and I could bump, and like obviously I could watch what I did then now, and it was atrocious, but I just felt like so natural in the ring. And I don't know, I think maybe like being a lifelong fan, like that helped. Like, I remember practicing the sharpshooter on a pair of jeans like over and over when I was like 10 or whatever, just because I would just like, I do matches against pillows and stuffed animals and stuff like that. So I felt like I had a decent grasp on it, but it would take obviously a long time before I was actually good at this, but I felt so comfortable and so natural. And I just felt like that feeling after like a match, when you're up all night and the adrenaline dump is just so intense, you can't sleep. And it's just like, that was just hooked, absolutely hooked.
Well, okay. A couple of things I want to talk about here coming off of that. First of all, Jay and I used to wrestle with pillows. So what Jay would do is he would toss it to me, and we'd try and do the closest approximation to a Steiner line as we could. So, and if the toss was bad, I'd be like, "No, man, you toss." Yeah, and it all depended on the toss. So if it was a bad toss and I didn't hit that Steiner line right, I blamed it on Jay, and vice versa. It was like, "No, man, that was a bad toss. Otherwise, I would have hit it perfect." Yeah.
It was never the pillow's fault.
No, of course not. Couldn't be the pillow. So we would Steiner line pillows and do the same thing. But I have never, ever heard someone that put a sharpshooter on jeans before. That might be my favorite story I've ever heard doing this pod.
Yeah, I
Did you
had
put
it
anything in the jeans, or was it just?
It was a Brett match, or it might have even been an Owen match actually. And he put it on. So I think it was Owen because I did it with the right leg. Brett always did it with he put his left leg through.
Yeah.
So Owen would use his right, and so I think that's how I first learned how to do it. And I had a pair of jeans because I was always watching in the laundry room, and like my sister's jeans were hanging there drying. I was just practicing on this, and she got pretty pissed. But yeah, that's how sharpshooter is one of my first moves I learned.
Sorry, Jordash, but you're gonna need to put the sharpshooter.
Sorry, GWGs. Okay, so well, and the other thing that I want to, tell you, coming off of that story, in terms of like feeling like you picked it up pretty quickly. This is going to sound like I'm blowing smoke, but I truly mean this. I've never seen someone that moves like you in the ring. In all the years that I've watched wrestling, in all the years that I've seen, like Barry Windham has a certain way he moves, and there's certain guys that you can just tell it's them. You're one of those guys. I don't think I've ever seen someone that moves the same way you do, that strikes the same way you do, that goes into things the way you do. It's very, very unique, and like, I don't think anyone else could do it. And I mean that as a huge compliment, because like when you're in there, I just want to watch to see what way you're going to go into this, or how it's I don't even know how to explain it.
Oh, that is a huge compliment. I don't really know how to answer that. I don't
and again,
think
it's not really a question per se.
Helps me move that way, but I don't know. Like there's so many guys have just been such a huge influence on me growing up and watching wrestling. I just tried to pick up little things from all my favorite guys, and I don't know if that's just a little bit of everybody that's sort of helping me.
Well, then who were your favorites?
But I don't know.
Who were your favorites?
Well, growing up as a kid in Canada, if you were a Canadian wrestler, like I was a fan. Of course, Brett, Owen, Benoit, yourselves, Edge and Christian, Jericho, Lance Storm. Like I was just a huge fan of all the Canadian wrestlers because they were such good ring technicians, and that's something that I really appreciated and liked. Of course, during the Attitude Era, guys like Stone Cold and Shawn and Mick Foley were huge influences on me. But like once I really started breaking down, what this art form is and what it is to be a worker, and guys that I would study, like guys that like just sold well, like I really was like, whoa, like that really just changed my whole outlook on wrestling. Like I guess like my Mount Rushmore of wrestling salesmen would be like HBK, Kurt Hennig, Terry Funk, and Toshiaki Kawada. Maybe like Ric Flair, if there's a fifth guy up there. I tried like just guys that would sell well for guys and take good bumps for people and just move in unique ways and make things look believable. Like not over the top silly or funny, but and like a little bit of that, but not too far down, like still able to pull it back and be serious, like and violent and mean. Like, it was just something like about those guys that I really tried to capture in my work.
Well,
the key to good selling is making the audience feel your pain, right?
Absolutely.
And all those people you just listed were able to convey that you bring them in, you let them in, you let them feel your pain, and you go from there.
100%.
I saw an example, of all of those names that you just mentioned, but also the point of something that could be silly, but then turning it on its head. And the other night you did it in the match for the Dusty Rhodes, where you went through the top and middle, popped back, and then I've never seen it done between the second and bottom rope. Where and then you bounce back.
The Les Kellett spot that Nigel McGuinness really popularized in the mid-2000s in Ring of Honor. That's something that I kind of started doing, and I was forced to do it on the bottom rope once in a match with Roderick Strong, actually, at PWG. We had like this big sort of blood feud blow-off match, and he took the top rope down and strangled me with it or whatever. And so there literally was no top rope. And I did the spot like, oh, I wonder if I could do it on the bottom, the middle, and was able to pull it off. So I thought maybe I'd double down on it and do it back to back in NXT. So yeah, it was fun. I always try, like, I feel like I always try and do something new that I've never done before. And of course, in like a super important match, high pressure situation, like I would try these things, you know, beforehand, PC or something, or beforehand, or on a crash pad. But it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna pull it out when everything's on the line, and you know that'll force me to get it right.
Well, that's a great point, because a lot of times when you're, you know, in the frying pan, that's when some of those things that you just, hey, maybe I'll give this a shot, and then you listen to it and go, okay, well, that worked. That's now in the arsenal.
For sure. And that was just like, I never did the top rope knee drop until like 2 matches ago either, and now that I feel like that's really my new big false finish that I can do. So I feel like it's the beautiful thing about this is you're always evolving, you're always creating these things you can do and take from other guys too, like, you know, not blatantly rip off and steal things, but like take a little bit of something here that hasn't been seen in a while. And because as you guys know, nothing in pro wrestling is really truly original. No, and that's just it. But you do make it feel distinctly your own just by the way you move. Like I said, you have a very, just a very distinct way that you move. And but you're right. Like flying knee drop, that's, you know, Killer Kowalski. That's how he, you know, I'm using air quotes, ripped off Yukon Eric's ear. Was it? I think I'm going way back there. So. I'm a bit of a historian.
I don't think I asked you, where did you train?
I originally trained under Gorgeous Michelle Starr in BC. So I basically graduated high school and went straight to wrestling school, and started training with him. And a couple of guys would help train me, like a local guy named Scotty Mack, and actually a legally blind wrestler by Aaron Idle, who was a huge influence on me and my style as well. And he introduced me to like Japanese pro wrestling, and that totally just changed my outlook as well. And so like I've always been, you know, a guy just always wanting to keep training and keep learning. And so I also, like, you know, it's wrestling, you never want to stop learning. So I would, you know, pick up camps here and there. It's like I'd say tons of guys helped, quote unquote, train me, but the guy who really broke me into the business and taught me like my first bumps was Michelle Starr. I actually broke in with the Singh brothers as well, who you guys are familiar with.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we've had them on the show as well. It's good to see some young Canadian boys getting out there, or more of them. Oh geez, yeah. Eh? Every non-Canadian is going, what's going on?
What are these idiots talking about? So what made you decide, like, after, you know, working the independents and stuff in Canada, what was the decision, and how hard of a decision was that to be like, you know what, I think I need to go south, I need to go to the US? Like, did you just pick up and go, or did you have a plan, or what was that?
I felt like I was kind of outgrowing the scene there. I was, you know, doing some indies like in Alberta and Washington State and Oregon, and I just felt like, you know, and I kept being told, like, the only way you get better at this is to work with guys that had more experience and guys that were better than you. And I felt like I wasn't really getting that there, because not a lot of guys are being brought in. And it was just like, you know, if I want to make a real stab at this, I got to go where the opportunities are. So there was a couple guys that I had worked with in Washington named Davey Richards and Tony Kazina, and they were like helping train at a school in St. Louis, Missouri. And so there was an open invitation if, you know, you want to come out and crash on the couch and train and drive to shows with us, then come on out. And I was like, hell yes. So I basically saved up the whole summer of 2009 and loaded up my Chevy Cavalier and snuck across the border and never came back.
Hopefully there's no border agents.
Yeah, no Ixnay on the order bay. No, I would come back now and again just because I would run out of cash and money, and so I would have to come home for like a month-long stint here and there just to, you know, get a job and save up, because I couldn't really work down here. I wasn't making enough wrestling, so it eventually got to the point where it just wasn't worth the risk anymore. I had a couple close calls at the border, And I was like, you know what, like my career, it's going to take just one guy having a bad day to really look into me. And, you know, that would be it. I would be banned. And, you know, I shudder to think, you know, in this day and age, if I was doing the same thing and how today's political climate is with immigration and everything, like how it would be now. But yeah, it was just, I was really lucky, man. I had a lot of luck on my side. Sometimes I really think the universe was looking out for me and really wanted me to make it. Because, you know, I got denied a visa several times just because I was trying to do everything by the book. And eventually I was just like, I'm going to have to stay here. And so I was literally like an illegal alien in the U.S. for over 2 years until I finally got a green card. And like any, you know, story worth telling, it was about a girl, and I finally met the girl in my dreams, and she was American. I married her and got that green card. So things worked out.
Nice. Wow. It's amazing to hear. Everyone that we've had on the show has some version of something that they've been through, or huge risks that they had to take in order for this to all pay off. And probably if you're on this, then it's paid off. Otherwise, we wouldn't know who anybody is.
Wouldn't care about you.
Right.
Yeah, we wouldn't care about you unless you made it.
You guys really care.
Yeah.
What I do like about that story too was the way you pronounced couch.
What did I say? Couch. What else?
Oh, I was sleeping on the coach.
Does anyone know what a Chesterfield is there out in the pot of awesomeness universe?
Yeah. Did you leave the plastic on the Chesterfield?
I wasn't sleeping on the Chesterfield. I was sleeping with the Chesterfield.
Okay, so you're down in the States now, and how's everything start slowly progressing? Because, you know, like anything, there's nothing that happens fast in this industry.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's always so much that goes into it that isn't seen.
Right. Well, when I left, I really had like these intentions. I wanted to go to Japan so bad, and you know, I'm ready. I was nowhere near ready at that point. This was 2009. I wouldn't go to Japan until 2014, but I really I wanted to go the path of being, you know, like a quote unquote independent star. Like, because a lot of those guys were, you know, from what I thought, were doing really well. Like Ring of Honor was really blowing up. The Indies are really blowing up. Guys were going from Ring of Honor to WWE. I was like, man, this is the path I want to go. And a lot of guys I looked up to, Roderick Strong included, were at the top of that. So I wanted to get in with Ring of Honor. And so I started just showing up at their shows, and maybe I'd get like a dark match here and there. About a year of doing that, showing up at shows and taking as many indie bookings as I possibly could. Well, kind of doing like some maintenance jobs for my landlord under the table. That also helped me out a lot in the money department. But yeah, it was about like a year after leaving. So it was September 2010. Ring of Honor. I drove out from St. Louis to Boston for a show. It was like a 19-hour drive, and I had an Evolve booking in Jersey the day after. And right after I got to that Ring of Honor show, I worked the match, and they offered me my first contract in pro wrestling, and that was just a huge moment for me. Like, of course, it wasn't for like heaps of cash or anything like that, but it was just like whoa, like I signed my name on a wrestling contract. Oh my god! Like, so I was buzzing and slept in my car that night on my way down to Jersey. But that was like,
and then to bring it back down to earth, you slept in your car.
I made it. Like, it was a while before I would be able to say anything along the lines of actually making it. But that was like I kept getting these bones here and there that just kept me going. You know, like a big indie match against a guy with a ton of experience would be like a bone that I was throwing. It was those little bones that just kept me motivated and kept me going. And yeah, that was a big deal. I remember that same weekend after the Evolve show, Ring of Honor had another show in New York at the Manhattan Center, and Adam Cole and I, we took the train into the city to watch the show. We weren't booked for the show, but we had both just signed with Ring of Honor at like the exact same time. And we're at the Manhattan Center, and we're like, oh man, this is so cool. Like, we'd worked each other like maybe 6 months before that, and like one of our first like big buzzworthy matches. It started putting both of our names on the map per se. And we were watching the show, and we just said like, oh man, how cool would it be if we wrestled against each other at Final Battle this December in the Manhattan Center. Oh man, because that was like, it was on pay-per-view. Oh, that'd be so awesome, dude. And then lo and behold, we would form a tag team, and we would open that show as a tag team 3 months later in December at Final Battle. So that was really cool as well.
Nice.
Well, and we'll get to how great it must feel to work with all of those guys in NXT, you know, with the kind of history that you all have. But so in Ring of Honor, that's where I first started hearing about you and kind of catching wind of what was happening. How did it feel like the transition was? And when did you feel like, okay, I'm finding the groove? Like you're out of the training, you're starting to work more experienced people at this point. What point did you feel like you were starting to hit the groove of the direction you wanted to go?
It'd probably be a while, because at this point I was still, like, in my mind, I didn't really know who Kyle O'Reilly was, as corny as that sounds. Like, I didn't really have any character or direction. I was just a guy who wrestled and had what I thought was somewhat decent matches. It wouldn't be for a couple of years. I think I started really getting my groove when Bobby and I started to team up, which would have been, I think, in 2012. And then, you know, we started looking at this whole thing as like, okay, well, what are our characters? And then started to really break that down. I started to kind of come out of my shell and really find comfort in this whole thing, because I was always like just sort of anxious and uneasy. Like I was confident in the ring and stuff, but in terms of like cutting a promo or even describing who I was as a character, I really had no idea. So yeah, I'd say teaming up with Bobby really helped me in that regard.
No, it's funny that you just mentioned that, because before you came on, we were talking about when we came in and the importance of, you know, sometimes when you're like you said, in the ring, you felt comfortable, but your personality wasn't necessarily your strong suit, or talking, you know, in front of people or in front of a camera on the microphone. But having that comfort level of somebody that you're completely 100% comfortable with and trust, and you can almost just look at them and have a conversation with them. And then you can have that bounce, that feedback between each other, and there's some comfort level there, right? And like you just said, that really helped you kind of come out of your shell. And you know, was it then that you started to kind of be like, okay, you know, I could do this personality-wise just as much as in the ring?
Absolutely. Like, it would start with just us, you know, almost trying to make each other laugh in promos and stuff, and then, oh yeah, there's more to than just trying to be a serious wrestler. Like, you can have a comedic side, you can be funny, you can be having fun in this as well. Like, it doesn't have to all be serious. You know, I was still at that point where I thought, you know, wrestling's supposed to be serious. You're supposed to be a serious wrestler at all times. And so that definitely helped in that regard. And like you said, like, having that guy to have your back, like, there's enough pressure and stress and anxiety in this occupation as it is, but when you have someone that can share the burden and share the workload, like, that makes things so much more comfortable. To
me, a well done tag team match, it's very hard for any other match on the show to come close. And we've talked about it before on the pod with you guys, you know, saying that the Undisputed is probably going to kick this thing off and it's going to be really hard to follow. And I know that's everybody's mentality in the match. And usually the case, it's, you know, you guys kick it off, and, man, it sets the tone for the entire show. But I got to think everyone else sees it and goes, okay, we got to try and top it. And that's a great thing, competitiveness in the locker room.
It is. It is a competitiveness, but it's also like everyone's supporting each other and egging each other on to, you know, bring it and to keep that tempo going. Like, it also happens to be that we're kicking off the show. Like, there's no really better position to be an opening match on a takeover card, because the crowd are always just nuclear, and first match is kind of always been like my favorite spot. Like, for my first couple of years in Ring of Honor, I felt like I had mastered the opening match. Like, it was, you know, 6 to 8 minutes, just simple, basic, teach the people to what the basic psychology of what they're going to see is. Like, don't do anything too crazy. Just keep it, you know, swift and quick and good. And, you know, I hate to say I love opening matches, because of course, you know, the goal should be to move up the card, but that is a nice spot to be on when you have that just such a great spot to be when the crowd is that awesome on a takeover show.
My mentality always was, if I'm not on last, put me on first.
Sure.
You know, that's how I always looked at it, and I would, because I like to set the pace, and like I said, set the bar for the rest of the show. I like to go out there and follow that. You know, it gives you that. You know, and it's not necessarily being a dick thing, but it's you know, like I said, competitiveness and having that competitive edge or juice or whatever it is. It's kind of contagious within the locker room, and you want everybody else to go out there and step up and have great matches as well.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that you just said competitive juice.
You like that?
I mean, it's kind of disturbing, but
what?
I think you're gonna like it
juices. Yeah,
you should market that.
Yeah,
sell competitive
that's a
juice
t-shirt waiting to
boxes.
happen.
Hold on a second. I'll call my lawyer right now. Speed dial. Yeah. So how long? So after you said you really wanted to get to Japan, was it not until you and Bobby were together as Red Dragon? Was that when you finally got over to Japan and got to experience it?
Yeah, that was. I remember I think we were booked in the UK, and we had like an early flight the next morning. And we'd been up. You know, it's one of those. You have an early flight. Let's just stay up all night so we can just sleep on the flight home. And getting back to the hotel, had like a missed message from Carl Anderson, and he was, you know, a player in New Japan at the time. He said, the office wants your visa info. We're like, oh, sweet. This is what I've always wanted. So we got to go. I think our New Japan debut was like the G1 finals in 2014 and like a big dome show. So it was just a surreal experience. It's something that I've always wanted to do ever since I got into wrestling, was wrestle in Japan, because I was just such a fan of the style and just a fan of Japanese culture, and just how pro wrestling is such highly regarded over there, and wrestlers are just looked at with such respect. And it was just, it was a dream come true to get to go over there.
So you finally get over there, and like you said, that became a goal, you know, earlier on in your career. At what point, like, was there a point, I guess, where you thought maybe this is where I spend the rest of my career?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love going, and like for a lot of my career, WWE was never really on my radar. Yeah, I loved wrestling, and I would be doing it still, regardless if I never made a dime in it, just because I just loved to do it so much. But I really felt at peace and at home over in New Japan. Like, the fans were really getting behind us. I had, you know, some really important matches for my career, for like my body of work, I guess I would say, stuff that I can be proud of looking back. And, you know, wrestled in some famous venues and some famous tournaments against some famous guys. And, you know, I was really proud of that. And, I would have been happy to be a lifer over there, 100%.
So even though it wasn't necessarily the goal, there has to be that turning point where you realize that WWE is a very distinct possibility. When does that kind of start, that realization start happening?
I guess it would, like, I guess, you know, anything is possible, but you see guys that had gone the same route that we had gone, that were making big waves in WWE, like guys who were the Ring of Honor champions of the world. Like, they were, you know, they were now the WWE champions. So it was like, whoa, like maybe this is a possibility. It wouldn't be for quite some time after that we would get that call. But once that call came, it was like, wow, this is really going to happen. Like, it was, I don't know, it's hard to put into words how it felt and how it still feels to know that I work for WWE, because this is the company I've loved since I was a kid. So, you know, it was a really cool thing to finally happen for us and for me, and just for my family as well, to see how much I put into this and how hard it was to get to this point. And so, like, when I finally did get the call, it was literally like the weekend of I finally had won the Ring of Honor world title, and William Regal called me up and said that they wanted to hire me. And I was like, oh, well, I'm the Ring of Honor World Champion now. He's like, well, is there something you can do about that? I was like, I read between the lines.
That's great.
So like,
That's right. Hijack the title and hit the bricks, brother.
I would drop it to Adam at the Tokyo Dome. So I'm the shortest reigning Ring of Honor champion in history, but and then of course it would be like that, like the weekend after dropping it, I would get a call saying, oh, there's, I guess, a bit of a legal dispute between our companies or whatever it ended up being, but we have to go radio silent for 6 months, and now your deal, like, not that my deal was up in the air, but it was like, yeah, you're gonna have to wait 6 months. I was like, okay. So now I was kind of like, oh, so now what do? I finished up with New Japan. I finished up with Ring of Honor. Like, what am I going to do for these next few months? It was really like a lot of uncertainty, but it's so crazy to think back now, just how that was such a blessing in disguise. Like, it really was the universe looking out for me, because my mom had just been diagnosed with terminal cancer. And so those 6 months were, precious time that I got to spend at home. For those final months and everything like that. So it really did work out. And it gave me time for my body to heal and for me to get some mental clarity in what this whole journey meant, and to really prepare myself physically and mentally for this next step in my career. And of course, if I'd come in originally in that January of 2017, I wouldn't have been with Bobby. I wouldn't have been with Adam. And I shudder to think of what would have happened if I just come in by myself, as opposed to coming in and forming this group, the Undisputed Era. Like, that's been the most fun and the most exciting, the best thing that's happened in my career by far. So it's so crazy when you really break down and think about, how the serendipitous things that do happen throughout your career, and how it all really does mean something, and it really is all for the best.
You just said serendipitous, so I was already a fan, but I'm an even bigger fan.
I meant the John Cusack movie. It was like that,
which was a good movie. So, well, and it really does sound like, honestly, that 6 months was it was needed. Because not only like you said, from a personal front, and can definitely relate to you in that regard after this year, and how important it is to be home for all of that, and then also going forward, once you get there, man, you're going to hit the ground running, and I'm assuming that's how it's felt, because you guys have been doing everything on everything. And with your style, you're bumping feet and heels, and that can wear on you after a while. So,
is there any other heels in WWE?
Well, there's Brock.
I guess there's the monster heel. Yeah, I would have loved that role.
Right?
Wouldn't we all?
Was it going to be our lot, guys?
Yeah.
So all of that happens to you, and let's face it, that's the real stuff. That's the important things. How hard was it to get down there and get back to work, or was it good to get back to work to just kind of try and move forward?
It was the best thing for me. This is what my life has revolved around for the last 14 years. Is this job. Is the best medicine, absolutely. And my mom wouldn't pass until November of that year, so she did get to see me realize my dream. She did get to know that I had made it, and I had signed on the dotted line, and I got to, our first takeover was at War Games in November, and so she knew that I got to main event a WWE quote unquote pay-per-view. So that was just so huge for my family. Me getting to NXT was the one good piece of news that happened for my family that entire year. It was a lot of pain and hardship and everything like that, but yeah, it was the best medicine possible. And being surrounded by my friends and coworkers and coaches and producers that I've been fans of since I was a kid, and that I have so much respect for and admiration for. I'm truly living the dream in every sense of the word.
Well, and the wrestling, the locker room, it becomes a type of second family as well. I mean, you're spending all of these times, you're trusting each other's lives to each other. So if you can't be with your blood family, if there's any place that is going to have some kind of understanding and a good place to be, I would think it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all in this together. You know, we were all on the road constantly. We're all spend time away from our families. We're all beat up and, you know, missing your kids or your dogs or whatever you have at home. Like it's a grind, and, you know, we all have each other, and we all need to keep each other positive. And, you know, you hear so much about, the competitive aspect of it, and, you know, screw that guy, I want his spot, this, that, and the other. But I don't think it's really like that down here. I feel like everyone's supporting each other, and everybody wants the best for each other. And I think you need to be happy for people when they succeed.
Right.
Absolutely.
The culture's definitely changed in that respect, I think, for the better. And, like, you know, we talked about earlier, like, you know, going out there and like wanting to like opening the show and not going back to the minute, like nobody's going to be able to follow that. You know, you're almost going back and encouraging somebody to step up, and they want to see them have a better match, you know? So I find that refreshing in this business very much.
Definitely.
Well, and also too, to go, okay, wow, you did pull it off. Damn you. Okay. Well, next time I'm going to make it even harder. And that's, I think, you know, and what I got when I've spent time down at NXT is that kind of feel, which I think is great. You know, it really feels like you're all in it together, yet still competing against each other, but pushing each other forward and not trying to hold anyone back. And you can really tell that from the types of matches you guys have. And I don't want to harp on it, and I don't want to keep talking about it, but just it's some really, really great, fun, creative stuff where you can tell that you guys are out there to try and make your opponents look great.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this business. Nobody looks good without someone making them look good.
And like you said, there's 4 participants or there's 2 participants, but it can be a lost art sometimes. So it's very refreshing when you see it. And I think that deserves mentioning that I'm obviously a big fan, and it's been really fun to watch the creative things that you guys have been doing. But more than that too, you can also just tell you're all having fun. And that makes such a huge difference. So let's talk about a little bit about having history with these guys that you're now working with and doing it at this level and in a different place. Like, how fun does that feel?
Oh, we're having a blast. Like I'd said before about me and Bobby, like this whole Undisputed Era thing, like there's a real genuine camaraderie between us because we are all really close friends, and we all came up through the roads together, and we're just having such a blast. Like, we're just trying to make each other laugh, and then, you know, goofing off in promos, and Adam will bring it down. All right, guys, like, this is serious still too. And then he'll make it good, like, by saying something sweet, and like, yeah, that's undisputed. But it's just like, I don't know, this is really one of the coolest things I've gotten to do, and to be part of like a faction. And you know, we're 4 smaller guys, but like when you have like as individuals, anyone can beat us, whatever. But like when there's 4 of us, like good luck. Like there's 4 pit bulls that are coming at you. And I think Hunter and Sean said like wiener dogs, but I like to say pit bulls.
Prefer a pit bull.
Yeah. Or I got beagle, so I'll take a beagle too.
There you go. Like a mean beagle.
Yeah, sniffing at your crotch. Yeah, gotcha.
It doesn't have quite the same effect, but, you know, I like it. Well, what's great what you guys do, it's very similar to, you know, the Brainbusters or the Horsemen, or it's when you get your heat, you get your heat. And I have always liked the term like a pack of wolves, and that really feels like that's what you guys do. And the Revival does it
too. Is that like often when we come out, people will cheer and they're like, oh yeah, these guys are cool. It's the Undisputed Era, yeah. But like more often than not, we almost always are able to turn them, and then like within the match, get them booing us and get them to cheer the baby faces. Like that's something I'm really proud of, that we are able to do that and to turn a crowd. And to be the cool, cocky heels, but to also be chicken shit,
Well, and it's tough to be the talented heel. Like, it's a very educated audience, so they know you guys are good, and that can be difficult in a way. But you guys have been able to tell such stories with your matches that gets lost, and people just get wrapped up in the story that's being told, and who the hell is going to win this thing, and where is it going to go, and what new stuff are they going to do? And speaking of new, although it's not new because you teamed before, but with Bobby coming back and transitioning from Bobby to Roddy back to Bobby, I mean, how cool is it to be? You've been the center pin of that whole thing.
Right. And I've tagged with literally every guy in the group for a decent run. It's cool.
You're the linchpin, brother.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Totally. And similar to what you said just about these characters, like I always think about Edge and Christian and how they were able to be entertaining and funny in the ring and have great segments and promos. But once the bell rung, it was all business, and they were having badass matches and they were taken seriously. Like, that's something I really try and sort of pattern ourselves after. So
yeah, there really is a fine line between comedy and haha. We're doing
100%. Yeah, and you don't want to take it too far down the comedic route and be pegged as a comedy guy. Like, I still want to be able to be vicious and to be violent, but to still have fun. Like, something you said when you came to class, Christian, that really resonated with me. I forget the exact context of it, but I think you were talking about there was a time when you might have been going through a bit of a lull, and you were in a scene, like in a backstage vignette, and you were just like in the background or whatever, and you were talking about how, well, you know what, I'm going to make the most out of this, and I'm going to just try and steal the scene as a background actor. And like, I always kind of think of that when, even if I got nothing on that show or in that vignette or promo, if I can just sort of react and have a facial expression or do something, maybe someone will notice that and just make the most out of every opportunity we're given.
Yeah, because the alternative is you stand there and I don't know, you look bored or twiddle your thumbs, and guess what? The audience is going to too. And there's going to be, even if it's just a small segment, somebody is going to notice and go, I'm always going to keep my eye on that guy or that girl, because they're going to try something different. And I've heard that story from Jay a lot. He repeats it a lot to me. So
do I? I must have been really excited watching Mark Henry roll up a frying pan, for real.
Was it Mark Henry rolling up the frying pan?
Yeah, and then like one week he rolled up a frying pan, one week he lifted up a car, and he was doing a bunch of feats of strength. And I was very, very excited about it.
Weren't there like some guys that were hot at you though about going too hard in the background?
Yeah, they were like, ooh, and I was like, well, if I'm going to stand here, I'm going to be the best guy standing here.
Right. So I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where are those guys now? Huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I could name names.
I think Mark Henry's in the Hall of Fame, isn't
he? Yeah, but he was the one doing this stuff.
Yeah, he was doing.
The other guys watching.
Yeah.
So, I mean, where, in terms of teaming with Bobby now, I mean, you guys have been a team since what? You said 2012, right?
I believe so, yes.
So he's coming back, blown out knee. I mean, it's no matter what, no matter how comfortable you feel, there's always those first few, for me, it's always been a few months back. I really don't feel like I'm back in the groove until about 3 months of kind of like knocking the rust out. But again, doing it in a team is so nice because, I mean, he knows that you're there. And that's got to feel good for you too, is to know that you can be there to help him come back from, which is a pretty substantial injury.
Absolutely. And I know for Bobby, like, he was a little apprehensive about coming back because he saw the way that Adam, Roddy, and I were gelling together as a team. And I know he felt maybe a little left out in that, but it hasn't been like that at all. Like, it's just hopping right back on the bicycle, and Bobby's just been killing it since he came back. And that's the good thing about the 4-man team. Like, we we all contribute to everything that we do, whether it's a singles or a tag or any combination of the four of us. If it's me and Roddy, or me and Bobby, or Bobby and Roddy, or me and Adam, or Adam and Bebe, like any combo of the four of us, I think can go out there and smash it. And we all are so supportive of each other and contributing ideas and, oh, hey, you can do this. You're not even in our match, but he's given us like some good stuff. Like it's really cool. We all want each other to succeed and to do really well.
It's very reminiscent of the Horsemen, honestly, with a Barry Windham in it, where all four guys were just studs. And you could put any combination of them. You could put Arn and Barry together. You could put, Tully and Rick together, and you just knew that, if you were to team those two guys, they would be tag team champions, and they would be able to have a good match with anybody on the show. And I think that's a very similar vibe that you guys have. And I can't think of any other 4-person groups that have necessarily come close to that. Because there's always been one or two that are kind of, I don't know, just don't fit the mold, I guess. But you guys all really fit the mold of what you're doing. Why do you think that is? Is it the camaraderie? Is it, the fact that you came up together?
I think so. And I think maybe it's because we all really do love this, and we all like the same types of wrestling and the same types of guys. And we've heard that Horseman comparison a few times. I would never actually have the balls to say that about ourselves personally.
No, but we
to be told we're similar to the Horsemen is like such a freaking huge compliment. It blows my mind every time I hear it. And that's legendary status right there. So if we can come close to anything similar to that, I think we'll do all right. So is that I would think you guys want to all try and get to, either Raw or SmackDown as a unit. Do you think that's the game plan you guys want to go with? Oh, I absolutely. I know we all don't want this thing to end anytime soon. Like, I know it's wrestling. Eventually someone's got to go through the barbershop window, right? But I think like we want to ride this thing for as long as we possibly can. And we're pretty sure that creative has similar plans for us as far as NXT is concerned. Like, I know there's no plans to split us up anytime soon or anything like that. So if all the stars align, it would be wonderful to eventually go to the main roster as a 4-man unit, because I think it would be something very unique and very special, and something that's not really like a 4-man group. It hasn't been done in a good while up there. So I think that could be really cool. And I keep my fingers crossed that we do eventually get that opportunity.
Well, in the meantime, you and Bobby are back together. I won't say Red Dragon, even though I want to. And I'm really excited to see.
Riz Driz. That works.
All right, Riz Driz, it is. But I was really so pleasantly surprised with the chemistry that you and Roddy had, because I knew you had it with Bobby, obviously, but then to see how kind of seamlessly you guys transitioned, I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys get back and show exactly what you can do as a team. And again, you're the recurring theme there, buddy.
I appreciate that, man. I'm having a blast, and as long as I get to tag with any combination of these guys, life is pretty sweet, and I got a pretty good gig.
Hey, and man, don't sleep on your single stuff, man, because like I said, you really have a special something in there, and like I said, I can't put my finger on it, and that's a good thing. I've never seen someone move like you in there and do the things you do. So keep doing what you're doing, man. It's really fun to watch.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man. And, get those, we've kept you for a while here. We'll let you go and get those Levi 501s and tie them up in a sharpshooter.
Oh, geez.
Oh, geez.
I was going to say, talking with you guys has been awesome, man. I've been a lifelong fan of you guys, and it's, moments like these where you get to talk to people that you look up to and respect, make life on this planet worth living. So thanks for having me on the pod of awesomeness, guys.
Nice. It's good to be peers, isn't it?
Absolutely, you ain't kidding, man.
All right, man.
All the
Keep
best,
tearing
baby.
it up.
Oh, we'll do it.
Well, that was a good little interview.
It was.
O'Reilly a little bit better. Good dude.
Yeah.
Really like him.
Yeah, good Canadian kid. And I know
Salt of the earth,
now,
as they'd say.
they would. They would. But first, I got a question for you. Could listening to motivating fitness programs get you fit? Could listening inspire you to start something new? There's never been a better time to start listening on Audible. With Audible, you get access to an unbeatable selection of audiobooks, including bestsellers, motivation, mysteries, thrillers, memoirs, and more. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet, and now, with Audible Originals, the selection has gotten even more custom with content made for members. I just finished listening to Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. I'm now listening to The Squared Circle by David Shoemaker. For those of you who want to listen to a wrestling book, it's all there. Audible members also get access to exclusive audio fitness programs to start the new year off on the right foot.
Listen on any device, and for me that's great because I'm connected, brother. Anytime, anywhere, at home, at the gym, on your commute, or just on the go, you'll enjoy easy audiobook exchanges, rollover credits, and an audiobook library you keep forever, even if you cancel. Audible, the most inspiring minds, the most compelling stories, the best place to listen. Get started with a 30-day trial when you go to audible.com/awesomeness or text awesomeness to 500-500. That's 500-500. Hey, and listen for a change.
And I don't want to be gushing about it, but I really, really, really do, if you couldn't tell by that interview, enjoy his work and how it's just different, man. I don't know how to put my finger on it, and that's a good thing. I really, really think that is a guy who has found his own thing, his own style, his own niche, and I could really
Whether he's
see
tried
him.
to or not, he has, it's his thing.
Yeah.
So
it's distinctly him. And I don't think, like, if you were to, just put, green bastard bodysuits on everybody, you would still know it's him because of the way he moves. And that can be a difficult thing in this industry when it's tough to have originality. So it was good to have him on. Good to pick his brain a little bit.
Yeah, big fan of his work, and after talking to him, bigger fan of him as a person. Good dude. Glad for all his success, and I'm sure he has plenty more to go. So looking forward to watching it all unfold, brother.
Yeah, there's certain guys that you just watch, and those four, fall into this category where you just watch and go, man, how fun would it have been?
And I like all of them except Bobby Fish. Let's be honest.
And see the fish man and me, we're pretty tight, I gotta tell you, I think
the fish flounder, brother.
You're gonna make the fish flounder.
Well, maybe Paul Smackage
would he?
He'll address him again at some point.
Last week I was listening to this shitty Podgram twit post or whatever it's called, and once my ears realized how sad they'd be while I listened to those two jobbers, E and C, I heard something I never want to hear again. That's right. I heard my old nemesis Paul Smackage talk disparagingly about my ride or die. My compadre. The yin to my huge yang. The man I go back to back with to go toe to toe. That's right. Smackage verbally besmirched. Jerk. Jackson. You all know him as Bobby Fish, but we go back to the days when a curly mustache wasn't ironic. When only the Magnum PIs and TA, the village people and porn stars rocked those facial pubes. But let's make no mistake about it, no one talks guano about the merman. You see, our eternal bond was formed at a late-night Richard Simmons sushi taco party, right after we completed a Sweat to the Oldies VHS with Jane Fonda, Joan Jett, Molly Ringwald, Sigourney Weaver, Kelsey Grammer, and Pat Benatar. The fish man was wearing a polka dot unitard, so that made him cool with me. Then we did blow with Kenny G out of his saxophone. From there we went moonlight surfing with Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman. You haven't lived till you've seen DeVito apply sex wax to a longboard at midnight. But I digress. Smackage, you have no idea the hell you've unleashed. I'm going to hold you in my sunset flip until the Red Sox and the Cubs win the World Series. You understand me? That's going to be a long time. No one messes with my goldfish.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Did you just get out of the tanning bed?
I did not see that coming. Man,
Did you just
that
get
guy
out of the tanning
moves.
bed?
He moves quick.
I feel like he moves quick, but he doesn't. Like he's like walking subtly, but somehow it's fast, like enough to catch a breeze in his hair.
It's a bit of a stiff-legged strut. I'm not going to lie,
Yeah.
but he does it at a very quick pace, and apparently very tight with Bobby Fish, aka Jerk Jackson.
Yeah, and they're obviously apparently good friends with Kenny G.
I missed that part. I don't. But I was kind of reeling over there, and the smell of, copper tone was hitting my nostrils pretty hard.
Jeez. Well, I wonder if Smackage is going to have a retort for one Flip Sunset.
I don't know, man.
I'm just intimidated by Flip. His presence. I freeze. I don't know what to do.
I'm not going to lie. I do too. When he comes in a room, you really feel it, and I'm basically. I would just leave Bobby Fish alone if I were you.
Well, it's not me. I didn't do anything to Bobby Fish. I said I didn't like him. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's confusing. It's very confusing. I think.
Well, maybe we'll have some. We'll have some clarity on it next week.
Okay. All right. Well, we know the Fishman's listening, so now he knows that Flip Sunset's got his back.
Of course he's listening to fucking Mark like the rest of these people. They want to hear us talk. Come on. You know he's listening. Let's get out of here. Later.